Hello, Calc. You're watching this, I guess, after Wednesday's class, and that would be the date of 10/12/16. I think that's the Columbus Day. But we're talking about a lady named Maria Agnesi, and I can't leave this section without mentioning her. Maria Agnesi. She was from Milan, that's Italy. And at age 9, she had published her first Latin essay. So this is in like the middle 1700s. And she published her first Latin essay on defending women in higher education. At the time, the church was teaching that women shouldn't be in higher education because it led to sin. So we've come off of that, and her essay perhaps to get us where we are today. By age 11, she had written, or she had learned six different languages. By age 20, she was a respected scientist, and somewhere in her life, she wrote the first comprehensive calculus textbook published by a woman. So hats off to Maria Agnesi. But what she's known most for is what she tried to call it the turning curve. The turning curve. So that's a gentle little name. However, when her work was translated years later, it was in Latin, I believe, and when it was translated, the word, whatever it was in Latin for turning curve, was translated erroneously to the word witch. So, in light of Halloween coming up, this will probably be my only my only contribution to Halloween. It turned out that the curve that she studied and she's known the most for, I wanted to mention briefly, and now it bears the name the witch or witches of Agnesi. Poor, a brilliant lady, and she's known for her curves, the witches of Agnesi. So it happens, those mistranslations. But she seemed to be a pretty cool lady. She studied mathematics and was brilliant, but mainly to please her father. And when he died in 52, she dropped the whole subject. She was very driven to help underprivileged poor people, and she was actually buried in a pauper's grave. So pretty interesting. She was one out of 21 children. And when her mother died, she took over caring for the children. So, very interesting. Let's look at her curve. I'm going to ask you to build the curve by, I'll give you the gist of the curve and see if you can come up with more points to complete the curve. And here's how it goes. Let me turn the paper the other way and get a wider angle shot. So if you would find a piece of paper and start with a circle that's a true circle. For example, if you are not working with, if you don't have, you can just take anything that's circular, and I didn't even do that. I'm just trying to freehand it. But if you could get something in your environment that's circular and draw a circle, and so come down here, and then so you're going to do this, I'm doing it roughly, you're going to do it with straight edges and a true circle. And what I want you to do is to draw a tangent at the very bottom of the circle. So yours is straight and a tangent at the top. Let me turn this so I can get my tangent a little bit straight. So you've got a tangent at the bottom, a tangent at the top. And right here where the tangent meets the circle, on the lower side of the circle, we're going to look at various angles as we go around in this direction. So I'll start with one that's sort of like right here. So you're going to draw a whole bunch of angles coming off of this one point, but I'll start with one and you'll see clearly what I'm doing. Where that line, that's not a tangent, that's a secant. When the secant hits the circle here and hits the line here, you want to look at those points. And you want to drop a perpendicular and draw a horizontal. So drop a vertical and add a horizontal. Where they meet is special spot. That's a point on the Witch of Agnesi. So right there is one. So I'll do another one. So if I do one up here, so I eyeball this spot where it crosses the circle, and this secant has a higher slope and it's going to hit at different points. But I'm going to take some circles, little dots I mean. So I'm going to take this point where it crosses the circle and this point where it crosses the upper tangent line, and I'm going to, from the tangent line, I'm going to drop a vertical and I'm going to run a horizontal, and that is my point. So I'll do one that has a lower slope here. So here's the secant coming off of this point again. It crossed the circle here, but it crossed the tangent, the upper tangent way here. My tangent's totally crooked, so you're going to have a much nicer graph. So I'm going to drop from this point a vertical and this point a horizontal. And where they meet is on the circle. It's on the graph, sorry. So I've done 3 points, and I can go over here. You're gonna have rays that secants that go all the way around, and just draw. They do have to intersect the circle. So just go all around and create a similar set. So here I'll look at this one, it crossed here and here. So I'm going to drop and rise across, and there's a point. So I want you to do that more than I've done it. I've come up with 1, 2, 3, 4 points on this curve. So I'd like you to do quite a few more, at least 8 more, maybe 12, whatever it takes for you to get the gist of the curve. And then I want you to connect all the X's that you've drawn and show me tomorrow your Witch of Agnesi.